right? So the name of the field is address. So once again, see, let me tell you what we are up to. See, in customer rest controller, you can see this. We have a function called handle get a customer by address. Whatever is the address passed as a parameter to this API, I get the value of that address, and I must return back only and only those customers where the address is equal to whatever is passed as parameter. This is what my requirement is. And if I go to the database, if I go to customer, you see I have these addresses, so Pune, I have 3 records which are from Pune. You can see these 3 customers from Pune, sorry, Mumbai. 3 customers from Mumbai, one from Pune and the other for Hyderabad. So if I pass Pune, I must get one. If I pass Hyderabad, India, I must get, one. Let me remove that India from here, and we'll just keep Hyderabad here. Okay, correct. And then if we pass Mumbai, how I must get 3 objects. I must get 3 objects. This is what we need. Correct. This is what is needed. So how do we do it? So we have this here, but then from here, we will be making a call to the service. From the service, the DAO eventually will make a call to the repository. Now, if I go to the DAO, you see this customer DAO. We do not really have any function on the repository, suppose. So here I will have to create a function, isn't it? I'll say public list of customer, because there can be many customers belonging to the same address. I'll say get customers by address. And here I'll say string whatever the address is, correct? And I will return the value back. So I will return the value back using what? I'll say return customer repository dot. I do not have find by address like this. I can either say find all, or else I can say find by ID. There is something called find by example as well. Find, all, and I can pass an example as a parameter, which is okay. That's a different thing. We will see that later if time permits. But then otherwise, you do not have a facility to find by address. How will you? You will never know, right? I mean, because your JPA doesn't know about the existence of your columns in the table. So what we need to do is that we will go to repository and I can declare a function. See how I'm declaring a function. I am saying public list of customer, and I'll say get find by, and when I say find by, okay, list, and I say customer, and I'll say find by. You see, now this IDE is so smart that it goes through all of these different fields that are there in customer. Well, let's not be dependent on that. I will write address. What will happen with this is it will automatically generate the appropriate select statement. And in the where clause it will take this address. So it will generate a select statement like this: select star from customer where address is equal to. Why? Because I have created the finder method accordingly. So you must always write find by, and the first character of the property must be in uppercase. Let's see, in customer we do have address. I'll say by uppercase, I mean A must be uppercase, and you must put that into the repository method like this. Find by, just make A uppercase, or whatever the name of the field is, the first character of that field must be in uppercase, followed by exactly the name of the field, and then pass a parameter. It will automatically generate a method. See, I did not write any select statement at all. See the beauty here. I go back here, customer repository, and I say find by, I'll say address, whatever is the address passed as parameter. Similarly, I go to my REST controller. From the REST controller, did I make any changes to the service? No, I must make customer service, and here also I will have to add a function. What that function would be? Public, I'll say list of customer, I'll say get customers by address, I'll say string address. Now since we have a function in the DAO class, I can just simply say return customer DAO dot get customers by address and pass the same address as a parameter. See, right? And now I go to the REST controller. I don't need to return back collection list like this. but I know you know very well what is advisable. You say response entity, and that response entity in turn will contain the list of customer. So I will say list of customer. Now I'll say customers is equal to, I'll write customer service dot get customer by address, and whatever was the address passed as parameter here, I will pass that address as parameter. You got that? And then here I will write return a new response entity, and here I'll pass customers as a parameter, and I'll say http status dot, I'll say okay. Perfect. Right, so now I will be able to search based on the address. Take a look. Now I am sure you know very well and you understand the concept of the layered pattern. You understand REST controller calls a service calls a DO, and DO in turn makes a call to the repository. Correct? Let me go back here to Chrome, and then you say customers, and I say question mark, or else no, what is the API? Customers by address, and hyphen by address question mark address is equal to Mumbai. And then you see this here, I get 3 addresses because Mumbai, there are 3 addresses for Mumbai. I say Pune, I get 1 address. I say Hyderabad, I get 1 address. Correct? And if I give some city which is not there at all, I get nothing. I'll get an empty array. See, I get an empty array. Simple enough. I get an empty array. See the preview. But if I say Mumbai, I will get 3 records. Can you see this here? I select customer, and you see the preview shows 3 records. Exactly. I'm bringing it from the database. So what is the new thing that we have learned? Now I'm not going to show you everything. I'm going to show you only and only one thing, that is customer repository. This is what. Okay. So this is what you need to implement. Call this from the DAO. Call this from DAO. Call DAO from service, and then call service from REST controller. Come on friends, you've got to do this, and I want you to implement end-to-end all by yourself. Implement yet another API such that I must be able to search the customers by name. There can be 2 customers with the same name, isn't it? By name. Okay friends, please get started. So this is something that you're supposed to do. This is something that I've already done and shown you, but continue. I'm just keeping only this thing up over here. Rest of the things you are supposed to do all on your own. Come on. And there is yet another API that I need. Come on. Loads of hands on for you. Get started. Correct? Okay, good. So you see the repository here. In this I have given public list customer find by name. Correct? So this will automatically generate a select statement which will find by name. As you can see here, we have kept SQL statement show SQL as on. So you see this where customer underscore address is equal to, this was the previous instance when we invoked this API, isn't it? See, it automatically generates. Right? So here it will generate by name. It will generate a where clause where name is equal to whatever we pass as parameter. Then going back to customer DAO, we will write custom same stuff but by customers by name, and then we call customer repository find by name. And then we have service. Within service we say get customers by name, string name, and then get customers by name. Just call the DAO. It's just that we are from one class we are calling the object of another class, invoking the method of the object of another class. And then from once we have got it in the service, we will go to REST controller. In the REST controller, we will have yet another mapping created. Okay. And that mapping will look like this. Instead of customers by address, I'll say by name. And the name of the parameter would be name. Here also the name would be, name of the parameter would be name. And instead of saying get customer by address, we'll say get customers by name. Correct? Here it's exactly the same, everything remains the same, and the function that we're going to call will be get customer by name, passing the name as parameter. Simple. Wasn't this really very simple? Just you were supposed to just simply copy. So you see, by address, if I say Mumbai, I get 3 records. But if suppose if I say name is equal to, and if I say Nomura, you see, I get mapping. No explicit. Sorry, that is because this should be name, right? I get Nomura, and then if I say name is equal to right percentage, it won't give me all. Okay, so Nomura and whatever the other names are, you can very well get those values. Let me check. Okay, IBM India JPMC, right? So I'll say JPMC plus, what is it? Okay, instead of that I'll say PWC India, PWC plus India. As you see this, I get that, isn't it? Okay, so this is how you can build your APIs, my dear friends. But then suppose if you wanted here name is equal to whatever you pass as parameter, and if you wanted to search in a way that if you just type in PW, it must give you all the customers with the name starting with PW. I repeat, all the customers with the name starting with PW. So suppose if PW India, and suppose this is PWC US. Okay, I have 2 objects here, and I want, if you type just PW or search PWC, I must be able to get both. Correct? Can you do that for me, friends? Can you do that for me? You see this? You see this REST controller? In the REST controller, this is what I want you to go to your repository and figure out. I'm sure you can get it. Come on, find by. It is all about specifying find by. Come on. You need to figure it out. Can you? I'm just giving you the, come on, figure it out. Figure it out. It's all about knowing what will be the finder method. Come on, do it. No, I don't want an address, name. I want it on name. I want it on name. Name, if I type PWC, it must return to me all customers, the name of which. Why are you giving the answers to everyone? Name customers, the name of which starts with PWC. Come on, implement this and show me. Come on, fast. Implement this and show me. So please see. We have been creating DAO classes, but this DAO classes uses repository in most of the cases. All with me, friends? Come on. You are all there? Yeah. Very good. Very nice. So you see, we have been using the repository, but sometimes, you know what, you still want to execute something. You still want to execute something which you may not be able to comfortably do it with the repository. Though repository is very powerful, you can do wonders with repository. You can also write your own @query over here on top. Suppose if you do not want your JPA to automatically fire or automatically gauge what would be the select statement, then you can write query out here, and then you can give whatever select statement you want over here. So this select statement will be executed instead of the one that it will automatically deduce. So instead of that, also suppose you have some really very complex, and you want to, based on some logic, you want to build the SQL statements and then fire those SQL statements. So what you can do is you can use entity manager. You can say entity manager like this. You can say EM, but this needs to be auto wired. So I'll say auto wired. Now when I auto wire the entity manager, it will automatically inject the dependency. Now anywhere in my application, for example, take a look at this get customer by customers by name. So I have invoked this repository, isn't it? Now let me do something. I'll say public list of customer list of customer, and I'll say get customers by complex condition. Suppose this makes no sense in real life. I'm just making up things out here. I repeat, I'm just making up things out here. So get customers by complex condition. Now if I want to, and that condition is pretty complex, I say string SQL is equal to, and based on some logic I construct the SQL statement. For now I will have a simple one, select star from customer. Correct? I can now, do what? I can get this executed with that entity manager. I can say em dot, and you can see this create. I have got an option of create query. Now this create query is also there, create native query is also there. The difference is that in case of create query, it will take a HQL, Hibernate Query Language, or you may call it JPQL, the Java Persistency API Query Language. Otherwise, you can fire the native query as well. It's very powerful. There are hundreds of things that you can do. As I said, only on JPA, we can spend 3 full days on JPA alone. So em.create native query, and I'll say select. Sorry, I do already have SQL out here. And then what you get on the left hand side is the list. Correct? So see, it returns to you a query, and then you say query q is equal to, so let me import this class query q dot, I can say list, get result list. Now what is this supposed to give me? This will give me the data. I repeat, this will give me the data. And the data that I get over here, q dot get result. Okay, there is one more topic, friends, we must not forget to discuss that is using object mapper from Jackson. Can anyone please write it down somewhere so that we don't forget this? Object mapper from Jackson. Please make note of this. We are supposed to cover that. So we've put q dot results in, and what is it that it is supposed to return to us? It will return to us a list. Now this list will be a list of, it will be a list of object. I'll say list and result. Now you will have to loop through this, and then you will have to get the values, what that object is, and then you need to find, so it all depends. Here the object would be, what it will be, an array of object. It will be an array of object. This is what it will return back. This will be a list of object array. Each and every element, like for example, if you've got ID, name and address out here, or say, let me be very specific, say ID comma name, suppose just 2 fields I want, ID comma name, then I will have 2 elements here. One would be a ID and the other would be name. So say for example, for, I'll say object, it's an array, right? So I'll say for, I'll say object array, I'm on a call. I'll call you back. I am sorry beta. Oh no, you're okay, no? You're okay. Okay. I'll call you back, inshallah. Thank you. Okay, so I'll say it's an object array, and I say data in, I'll say result. So I will be looping through the result set. Correct? This will help me to loop. Now what is this data? This data is an object array. Now I know that there will be 2 elements, 0th and the first element. So I'll say string id is equal to data, the 0th element will be id, and I know string name is equal to data, and I'll say 1 element. Of course I know this is going to be string. I can convert it to string or an integer, that's okay. I'll say integer, and I know very well that the data that I'm going to get from the databases will be of type integer, so the typecast will not fail. And then here in case of string, I'll typecast this to string. Right, now let's see this. I will click, I'll say s out, and then I'll say id name. I'm going to get all the data from my database. So what I'm only trying to tell you here is that, okay, list of customer, right? And I did not. So let me click on list of, or else I'll just say void here for now. Void. How do I test this, friends? Can I write a test case to test this or not? Come on. Can I write a test case to test this? Yes. But then I am dependent on entity manager here, and I do want to get the data from the database. So in such a case, when I write my test case, see the test case is here. Okay, so DAO, I have customer DAO test case. Okay, I will write @test, and I will write public I'll write void when entity underscore manager, something like that. And then I write customer do dot get my complex condition. See, I'm just testing, right? I just want to demonstrate this to you. So see, I run this test case and I don't have to write an API or anything in order to test it. I can just simply write, okay, started completed. Yeah, you can see this here. I've got all the data. You can see this here. This data is as a result of what? This is the test case that I have run. When entity manager, I make a call to this, and you see the select statement that I have written, and see the way I've got the data. So now what I'm trying to only convey to you is that can't this be as complex as you want? Now anything that is possible under the sun in that database, with that the database, you can very well fire that select statement here. It can be unions, intersections, joins, it can be data within select statement within a select statement. It can be in clause, nested selects, whatever complex select statement you want, you can very well manage this. Got it, friends? Right? Please try your hands on this and write a test case to test this. Right, friends? Please write a test case to test this. Very nice, excellent. So from customer, that's it. Now when you say from customer over here, you are not referring to the table in the database. You are referring to the class customer, which is your nothing but the business entity. You see, you have that business entity out here. You can see this within your model itself. You've got customer as a business entity. Can you see this? This is an entity. So it is this entity that you are referring to. So you must also declare an instance if at all you want to use it, and you can say where c dot perhaps name, you say like. When I say like, it's like, I can have a percentage here. Percentage means everything, and I say so whatever I pass as a parameter, I will be able to so I'll say question mark, percentage question mark. This is what we can do. So when I say percentage, that means I will be able to concatenate this with anything that I like. So, okay, don't worry about that percentage for now. And you just simply say name like, I say question mark, that's it. Correct? Or say name equal to, I'll come to the like part later. Say name equal to question mark. Now I will be able to search on the name as well. So from customer, but this time this query is not this is not create native query. This is create query. You can see this create query, and I'll pass that SQL as a parameter here. You can see that. Correct? From customer. In fact, this from is also redundant. You can just simply say no, I think it's okay. So I'll say from customer. Okay, from customer C, I think it's this should work. From is unexpected. Okay, let's keep this as it is and let's see whether this works or not. And then when I say select customer, so what is it that I'm going to get out here? I'm going to get the customer class itself. So create query, you see this, I've got em dot create query, and there is a result class also over here. With native query also I have create query. You can see this, and then I have the create query, and then create query with update query, create query with the result class. Here it is. Okay, so the result class means what? I'm going to get the query for customer dot class. This is what it is, for customer dot class. And when I do this, I will be able to get a specific query. So you see this now when I say query out here. Okay, customer. Okay, no, it doesn't, it will not take generic, correct. So I'll say q dot get result set. Now this, when I say q dot result set, I'm going to get list of customer. Okay, customers is equal to, this is what I'm going to get, right? Because I've already given customer class here, I'm getting the list of customer, and in such a case I will be able to just simply, instead of writing this, I'll say customers. So I don't need this right now. I just simply say for customers dot for each, remember, for each and then here I write system dot out double colon println. Correct? See this. Let's see. I am getting this is the IDE that is completing, otherwise things are okay. I don't see a problem there. Let's check it out. So I will be now testing this function, where in the same DAO test I will be testing this function. Another test, but here this time it's 2, another function is what I'm testing here, and manager I'll say 2. So let's see this. Okay, no, I did get an exception, I did get an error. An illegal argument query, correct, I did not pass a parameter at all to the query. Are no longer supported name style parameters. Use JPA style ordinal parameters. Okay, not question mark, use colon. So correct. I'll go back to my customer repos DAO, and instead of using this, I'll use a colon. Okay, colon, I'll say 1. I'll say colon 1. What does this mean? Is equal to is just perfect, colon 1. What does this mean is that I will have to say q dot set parameter, okay, and then the position would be 1, the first position, and the value of that would be whatever value is passed as a parameter here. So I'll say string name, and I will pass that name as a parameter here. Correct? And then I will execute the results. So let me go back to my test, and I will pass a parameter here. I'll say PWC India. Okay, let's see. Okay, there is again a problem. Let's see what the problem is. Indent found 1, expecting indent found 1. Okay, I think I am making a mistake. Expecting indent found 1 near line 1 colon. Okay, c dot name is equal to colon. Okay, I must give, just give me a moment. It's good to have errors. It's good to have errors. Yes, it's successful. So you see this, when I click over here, I get that entire object where the name is PWC India. You can see this, I'm getting that. If there were 2 customers with the same name PWC India, I would have got 2 customers, but since there is only 1, so what is the difference between the 2? So what is the difference? So let me do one thing. I'll, instead of this get customers by complex condition, okay, using query, using JPA QL, okay, that's what I've done. So of course I need to go back here and change the name of the method here, and then here also underscore when it with JPA underscore QL. Right, this is what it is. So please see, you have, I hope you have understood the difference here. Here you will be firing a native query. Here, I repeat, you will be firing a native query, whereas here you are firing a JPQL. Again, this can be very complex. See, I did not give star or anything over here. I just said customer C, isn't it? I said just customer C. That's it. So customer, the C represents the object of customer. This customer represents the entity being, and that C dot name is equal to name, and then I've passed that parameter of name, whatever is passed here, and the objects that I'm expecting is of type customer class. I get the result set, I put it into the customer, and then here you go. And then I've just tested it over here. You see this, I've called that function, and when I run this, I get the desired results. Got this, friends? So you can use, just do take note over here and make note of the point that you can very well have 2 things here. One is the native query and the other is the create query. Okay, come on, try your hands on this, friends. Very, very simple stuff. Come on, get started. Right. So you see this, you've got Java, and then these are the REST controllers that we created, custom REST controller that we created. We created that get mapping, post mapping, and stuff. And we also worked with parameters. We have also worked with question mark, as you can see here. Not the question mark, sorry, the path variable. And we have also worked with request body. You remember with the case in case of post handle post, we worked with the request body. So here you can very well specify, there are quite a few other parameters also that you can specify here. So you can specify that this API, what is the kind of data that it is going to produce and what is the kind of data it can consume. So since this is a RESTful API, by default consumes is, you can see that it is application, you can say media type dot, and you can say JSON, and you can see this JSON value. So this is what is by default anyways if you do not give, because this is a RESTful API. So this consumes is like it says that this is the kind of data it is expecting in the body of the request, and you can also say produces. This produces will specify the kind of data that this will be. Again, it's the same thing, since it's a RESTful API, it's okay if you do not give this value, it is understood by default. All right, so here we have, so these are the additional things that you have over here, and then you can and request body is also something that we have already seen in action, isn't it? With put also, you will be taking request body and you will be getting the values. But then from here, if you wanted to really update the data, how will you update the data from here? How will you actually update the data from here? You will be again calling a service, isn't it? All right, call a service, and that service will make a call to what? The DAO, and DAO in turn will make a call to what? Repository. And what is the name of the function that we've got in repository? We've got dot save, you remember? All right, so whatever is the repository object, dot save, and then you pass the object of type entity. Correct? We have done that earlier. So when you say entity, it will just check whether if that object is not already there in HTTP, not HTTP, in Hibernate session, it will mark it for insertion, or else if it is already there, then in that case it will fire an update, right? That's how it is. Correct. So all of these things we have in general learned, and we have seen these things in action. Now, as you can see here, we have created now more about Spring Boot and more about services, kind of microservices. First and foremost, as you see here, we created a Spring Boot application, and when we go to pom.xml file, in this pom.xml file you will find that this particular application is having a parent. Can you see this? It has a parent, and this parent is org.springframework.boot. So this is the reference to some other project which is available, and that project is of type of POM project. I repeat, it's a POM project. See, the project that we are creating is a Java project which will result into a jar file or an archive or a web archive file, a WAR file. But since we are talking about microservices, our application will result into a jar file. So in Maven, you create various different types of projects. So you also create a project which is a POM project. POM project means it will just provide the project object model. It will not have any source code. So this parent project that you have got over here, which is pulled from the repository, you see this org.springframework.boot. So this is not the one that we have created, right? This is the one that is available in Maven Center. Like the other dependencies are picked up, this will also be automatically picked up. Spring Boot starter parent, and then version is 2.5.1, right? Relative path, if at all you're going to see that this project is referencing this parent to which part, so relative path can very well be specified, but then otherwise this is the most important thing. It is as a result of this that it automatically picks up and understands the version of each one of these dependencies. See, you did not specify the version here. You can see that you did not specify the version. Suppose I remove this parent project now, right, and then I go to Maven and I say refresh, and if I do that, you see there is a issue here. Correct? Wait a minute. Yeah, now syncing has just started. right? And then why is this complaining? Because it does not know what kind of version will be used for this. It just simply do not understand from where to pick up these jar files. I mean, which version of these jar files is supposed to be picked up. So in such a case, you must, if it's a Spring Boot application, you will always see that your project will be dependent on a parent project, which will be a Spring Boot project by itself and with a particular version. Now you see you have no issues at all. Always remember this. You will have a parent project. Can you create a parent project of your own? Yes. But then that parent project in turn will be dependent on the Spring Boot, some of the other Spring Boot version. You got that? This is how it is. So you see this is your project, and in this project you have specified parent out here, and then you can also have multi-module projects when it comes to Maven. Multi-module projects means you can specify within your own project, you can have multiple modules created and you can add those modules here in your pom.xml file. In short, you organize and you arrange different modules into one application, and you can have reusable libraries used and stuff. Okay, I'm just all over the places and I'm talking about quite a few things. It's just that just remember that these are the terms that are used and these are the concepts that are used while building microservices. Though we are going to get into the details of microservices as we proceed further. Tomorrow morning I'll explain to you end to end what microservices are and what does it really mean, and why microservices, and as opposed to microservices, what are monolith applications. Correct? That's what. For now, I want you to do the research work on these important points. You can do this. Just go to the terminal, friends. Go to the terminal. You will automatically be in that folder in which this project is there. Please go to that terminal. We are all there. And then click here. Can you see this option here and say show excluded files? You've got to tick it on. I mean, just select it. It toggles between on and off. So tick it on, and then you will find there is a target folder over there. This target folder, so when you generate when you build your project, when you build your Spring Boot project, you will find a jar file here. I repeat, you will find a jar file here. So I'll say mvn clean. When I say mvn clean, it will just simply clean everything that is there in the target folder. So I'll say file and I say reload from disk, and you see this target is gone. I do not have target. Now the moment I say mvn clean package, now that means there are two goals that I'm giving. One is the clean, so it will clean. It's already clean, but no problem, it will do it again. If it's not there, it's fine. And package, the moment I do this, it will start building my project. You can see this here. And then once it starts building the project, it will certainly once and for all, okay, it will run the test cases and stuff. All the test cases were successful, and then it will say build is successful. And then when I say build is successful, once again I say file and I say refresh, reload from disk. As you can see, we've got the target folder here again, and you do have your Spring demo snapshot.jar file. Can you see this? Spring demo 0.0.1 snapshot.jar file. Now this jar file was created as a result of this build plugin, Spring Boot Maven plugin. I repeat, as a result of the Spring Boot Maven plugin, it created this jar file. Now you must know ins and outs of this jar file. First and foremost, I'll go to my terminal. So I'm not using the IDE at all. Once again, I go to my trainings and then PWC, and then you see we have got Spring training. Okay, so this is where we are, and then you see this target folder, the one that I was just showing you over here from the IDE. Can you see this target folder here? It is this target folder in which we've got this jar file generated. Correct? Suppose I go back here. Okay, I am on the main project and I say mvn clean once again. When I say mvn clean, it will just remove the target folder. See, I say reload from disk and the target folder is gone. So from here also, if I go to target, see there is no target folder. See, there is no target folder. I cannot go to that folder at all. So from here also I can very well say, of course that's the same terminal, mvn clean, and I say package. If I do not want to execute the test, then I'll say skip tests is equal to true, and I hit the enter key. Now you see this, it generates the jar files for me, and you see this, it just tells you where exactly the jar file is generated. Can you see within the target folder? I can show that jar file to you from here as well. File, and I say reload from disk. Here you go target, and here you go the jar file, and from here also you see now I do have target folder. Can you see this? I have a target folder. I can say cd target, okay, and I'm here. So I do have my jar file created. Now I can very well run my jar file from here. I can say java hyphen jar, and I can simply say spring demo as a spring demo and hit the enter key. You see this, my Spring Boot application is starting from here. Right friends, can you see this? My Spring Boot application is starting. Oh, it has failed. Why? Because it was already running over here and the port is in use. So I need to, close this from here. I need to go to services. I need to stop this from here, of course. You cannot run two applications on the same port, isn't it? Can you? You cannot, right? Okay. So here you go. You can see this here. Spring Boot Maven plugin. And then I go back here again, and once again I say java-jar, and this time it will start successfully. Right, so you see this, my application is running. See this here, my application is running. I go to my Chrome, and then I once again hit the enter key. Here you are, I'm getting the data. See, it's running from here. Can you see that? I am running this as a plain Java application. So my web application is running as a plain simple jar file. Please make note of this point. If you miss this point tomorrow, it will be difficult for you to understand microservices. So please. You're getting the point, friends? Spring demo 0.0.1 snapshot.jar. You got it? Right, so this is how it is. Okay, so this is the jar file which you can use. Otherwise, if you do not want to use the jar file, there is yet another way. Not that you do not want to use, you may have reasons to do this, but then otherwise you can use MVN in order to run your Spring Boot application. I can say spring-boot :run. You see, MVN spring-boot :run. That's it. Now when I do this, you see my Spring Boot application has started. So these are the two different ways. There is a test later on, friends, please don't forget that. So you see there are two different ways of running your Spring Boot application. One is the way you can use what? Come on, tell me, what is this? Make note of this. MVN spring-boot :run, and the other is that you generate MVN clean package, and you have got a package folder, clean package, and then you've got a package, it creates a package. What do you mean by packaging? What do you mean by packaging? It will actually create a jar file for you, and you see this when you go to the jar file. When you go to the target folder, you will find the jar file here. Here you go, you put the jar file here, isn't it? Right, that's how it is. So these are the jar files which are yours. This is one single service which has got n number of endpoints, but the service is one single service. I want you to try your hands on this. I repeat, I want you to try your hands on this very nicely. See the commands that I have given. I want you to go to the command prompt and see this. Try your hands on MVN spring-boot :run. But first of all, make sure you are in which folder. You see this here on my machine, I say pwd, and it will tell me I am in which folder. In your case, you just simply say cd and hit the enter key. It will tell you you are in which folder. So you see, I'll once again go to trainings. Right, and then within that pwc, and within that spring-training. So I am in this. So you must be in the folder which has got your POM file. See this, you must be in the folder which has got your POM file, and then try out these two commands: MVN spring-boot :run. So take a look at this, and then another command that once you are done with this, the other command that you will use would be right. So again in a different terminal I am here, and the other command that you must see in action is this: MVN clean package. And what would this do? This will generate the jar file. You've got to check that out. Come on, these are the two commands that you are going to look at. Try your hands, and you must be able to run the jar file using java-jar. How will you run the jar file? See this. Once again I'm opening another, right, cd, I'll say once again train. Okay, and then you need to go to the target folder, friends. Don't forget, you need to be in the target folder. Please see here, you will say java-jar and the name of that jar file, and just hit the enter key. You will be able to Get it. Okay, come on friends, get started. Try out all of these things on your machine.